What if I told you that the key to living a longer, healthier life might not involve doing more, but actually doing less? Sounds strange, right? But what if simple, everyday habits could add years to your life, years filled with energy, happiness, and health? Think about it. Wouldn't you want to know what these habits are? The ones you're probably overlooking right now, every single day, without even realizing it. Now, picture this, your life in the future. Maybe you're sitting on a porch, surrounded by the people you love, with the freedom to do what you want, when you want. It's peaceful, it's fulfilling, and it's because you made certain choices now. But what if the opposite happens? What if those little habits you've been holding on to are quietly taking years away from your health? Trust me, I know it's a lot to think about. But in the next few minutes, I'm going to share something that could completely change your outlook on life, no matter where you are on your health journey. Stick with me, and you might just unlock the secret to living longer, feeling better, and enjoying life to its fullest. As we age, things start to change. Our bodies don't bounce back like they used to. Our energy levels dip, our joints ache, and sometimes it feels like the things that were once so simple, are now a struggle. I know you've seen it. Maybe it's your mom, your dad, or even a close friend. You want the best for them. You want their later years to be full of joy, not burdened with pain or illness. But sometimes, those subtle changes, those little things we brush off as just getting older, are signs that something's not right. And trust me, ignoring them, it's a mistake that many people make. But today, we're going to dive into the habits that matter most, the ones that you need to change, before it's too late. The truth is, there are habits we adopt, without thinking, that could be shaving precious years off our lives. And I know it's easy to think, it's just how it is, or, I'm too old to change now. But that couldn't be farther from the truth. Small changes can make a world of difference, not only for you, but for the ones you love. So why does this matter? It matters because with the right habits, you can experience those golden years feeling your best, feeling healthy, vibrant, and alive. You deserve that. Your family deserves that. And today, we're going to make it happen. By the end of this video, you'll have the knowledge to recognize the small habits you're doing every day that could be holding you back from a longer, healthier life. These habits, they're often hidden in plain sight, and we don't even know how much they're affecting us. But after watching this, you'll know exactly what to leave behind. From eating habits that you think are harmless, to stress that you've become used to, this video could be the key to unlocking years of well-being. But hey, before we dive in, I want you to do something for me. If you're excited to discover these simple changes that can add years to your life, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps more than you know. And if you've ever noticed any of these habits in your own life, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your experiences, because you're not alone in this journey, and your story could help others too. And if you want to keep learning more about elderly care, health tips, and simple yet effective ways to improve your well-being, make sure to subscribe to Seniors Care. We've got tons of content coming your way that you don't want to miss. So, let's get started on how we can change our habits and add years to our lives. Imagine this, you've spent decades working hard, pushing yourself day in and day out, thinking you've got to keep going, there's always one more task, one more meeting, one more project to tackle. Maybe you've been that person who works late into the night, feels guilty about taking a day off, and ignores those small signals your body is sending. You've gotten used to working long hours, barely taking a break. Now, in your later years, you start to feel fatigued, your body aching in places you didn't even know could hurt, but you can't slow down. You keep telling yourself, it's just a little tiredness. I'll bounce back. But deep down, you're starting to realize that recovery isn't as fast as it used to be. And here's the kicker, all that overwork might actually be contributing to the very fatigue you're feeling. Now, I know what you're thinking. Many of us have been told that pushing through, staying busy, and maintaining that hustle is the key to success and productivity. But as you get older, your body doesn't recover the same way. It doesn't work on the same fuel it did when you were younger. Chronic stress, the kind that builds up over time from never giving yourself a break, can actually lead to a host of serious health issues like heart disease, cognitive decline, and even a shorter lifespan. It's like your body is a car engine, constantly running without a pause. Eventually, it overheats. And when that happens, things break down. Studies show that overworking yourself without rest can cause physical and emotional exhaustion. It can also elevate your cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone that, in excess, can weaken your immune system and make you more susceptible to illness. As you age, your body isn't as quick to bounce back from these stress levels. In fact, stress can accelerate aging and cause memory problems and slower recovery from illness or injury. And the sad truth is that many people think that keeping busy, working more, and pushing themselves harder will keep their minds sharp, when in reality, it's doing the opposite. It's draining your energy, clouding your focus, and leaving you more vulnerable to health risks. But here's the thing, you don't have to work yourself into the ground to live a fulfilling life, especially as you get older. The key to maintaining good health isn't about doing more, it's about doing less, strategically. Regular breaks, setting boundaries in your work life, and giving yourself permission to rest are not signs of weakness, they're signs of wisdom. A few minutes of downtime throughout the day can drastically lower stress levels. You don't need hours of relaxation, just a few moments here and there where you allow yourself to breathe, reset, and recharge. Whether it's stepping away from your desk, going for a walk, or simply closing your eyes for a few minutes, those small breaks can work wonders for your mental and physical health. Overworking is certainly one habit that impacts your long-term health, but it's not the only one. There's another hidden habit that many of us don't think twice about, what we're putting into our bodies. Yes, food. The way we eat has a huge impact on our well-being, and I'm not just talking about what we eat but how we eat it. Let's dive into the next habit that could be affecting your health, maybe more than you realize. Think about your grandfather for a moment. He used to love his daily snacks, chips, sugary drinks, those little treats that were a part of his routine. You'd see him sitting in his favorite chair, enjoying his snacks while watching TV, and everything seemed fine. But then, something started to change. Over time, you noticed he began to put on weight, feel more sluggish, and wasn't as active as he used to be. The once energetic man who loved to walk around the block now struggles to take a few steps without huffing and puffing. And at first, you might think it's just a part of getting older, but deep down, you know it's more than that. Processed foods. Those convenient, ready-to-eat meals and snacks we're all so familiar with, are one of the biggest contributors to poor health, especially as we age. They're loaded with things like added sugars, unhealthy fats, preservatives, and artificial ingredients that our bodies just aren't designed to handle in the long term. Now, I know what you might be thinking, it's just a snack, just a quick bite. How much harm can it really do? The truth is, over time, these seemingly innocent foods can cause a number of serious health issues, especially in our later years. They lead to inflammation, weight gain, and chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease, conditions that not only make us feel worse but also shorten our lifespan. But it doesn't end there. What's even more troubling is the misconception that people have about so-called healthy, processed foods. You know the ones I'm talking about, low-fat snacks, sugar-free drinks, diet options that sound great on the label. But here's the catch. Those foods might not be as healthy as they appear. Many of them are packed with artificial sweeteners, preservatives, and other chemicals that can disrupt your body's natural processes. In fact, some studies suggest that these processed substitutes can be just as bad, if not worse, than the regular versions. It's like trading one problem for another, all while thinking you're making a healthy choice. So, what can you do about it? The answer is simple, but effective. Start opting for fresh, whole foods whenever you can. Instead of reaching for that bag of chips, try snacking on a handful of nuts or some fresh fruit. Choose vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains over refined options. Little swaps, like choosing brown rice over white rice or whole wheat bread over white bread, might seem small, but they make a huge difference in your long-term health. These whole foods provide your body with the nutrients it truly needs to function properly, without all the added chemicals and sugars that can cause long-term damage. It's all about quality over convenience. Now, food plays a huge role in how we feel, but there's another vital part of our well-being that we often overlook: the way we treat our bodies when it comes to sleep. Sleep is more than just rest. It's when our bodies recharge, repair, and regenerate. But how many of us are actually getting the quality sleep we need, especially as we age? Let's move on to the next habit that might be affecting your health: how we handle sleep. Let me paint a picture for you: your grandma, the one who's always been there for you, filled with wisdom and stories. But recently, you've noticed a shift. She used to stay up late, watching her favorite shows on TV, and you'd always hear her say, "Just one more episode, dear." But after years of disrupted sleep, something has changed. Now, she seems forgetful, often grumpy, and doesn't have the same energy she once did. You start to wonder, what happened to the vibrant, alert woman she used to be? Inconsistent sleep patterns might seem like something small, a harmless little habit, but they can take a bigger toll on our health than we realize. When you don't get enough restful, uninterrupted sleep, it affects everything. Your mood, your memory, even your heart. See, sleep is more than just a time to rest. It's when your body does its most important healing and regenerating. During sleep, your body restores its energy levels, repairs muscles, and strengthens your immune system. But without enough quality sleep, these vital processes are compromised, and your body starts to show it. Studies have shown that irregular sleep cycles increase the risk of cognitive decline, depression, and even heart disease. As we get older, the consequences of poor sleep become even more severe. Lack of sleep can contribute to brain fog, slower reaction times, and even increase the likelihood of developing serious conditions like Alzheimer's or heart disease. So when grandma isn't sleeping well, it's not just the frustration of staying up late. It's an ongoing pattern of sleep deprivation that can slowly chip away at her mental and physical health. Now, I know a lot of people think, it's okay, I can catch up on sleep over the weekend. But here's the thing, you can't really catch up on sleep the way you might think. The damage done by irregular sleep patterns can't always be fixed by a couple of extra hours on Saturday morning. The body needs consistency. It thrives on routine. If you're always staying up late one night and then trying to sleep in the next day, your body never truly gets the deep, restorative rest it needs. Over time, it's like you're putting a bandage over a wound that never heals. So, what can you do? First, it's all about establishing a relaxing nighttime routine. Whether it's reading a book, taking a warm bath, or doing some light stretching, make sure you're winding down properly. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. And try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Yes, even on weekends. Your body will thank you for it. Creating a consistent sleep schedule is key to improving your mental clarity, emotional well-being, and overall health as you age. Getting good sleep is essential for your overall well-being, but did you know that sitting too much can also steal your energy and harm your health? That's right. It's another habit many of us overlook, and one that can quietly contribute to physical decline. Let's talk about how sitting too much is affecting your body, and what you can do to turn it around. Think about this: your dad, who used to be active, now spends most of his time sitting in front of the TV, just like so many of us do in our modern lives. At first, it seems harmless, he's just relaxing, catching up on his favorite shows. But after a while, you start noticing something. He begins complaining more about aches in his back, his knees are stiffer, and he just doesn't have the same energy he used to. You try to tell him to get up and move around, but it's hard to get him to budge. Sound familiar? This is a reality for so many older adults. They've sat for so long, that moving just doesn't feel natural anymore. What we often overlook, though, is the harm sitting for long periods can do to our bodies. It's not just a minor inconvenience or something that will go away with a good stretch. Sitting for extended periods is linked to a whole range of serious health issues, including obesity, diabetes, and even early mortality. That's right, by sitting too much, you're not just feeling stiff, you're actually putting your body at risk. And it's a hidden danger because sitting doesn't feel like an immediate threat. But the long-term effects? They're real, and they're dangerous. Here's why: when we sit for long hours, our bodies start to slow down. Blood circulation becomes sluggish, and your muscles lose tone. Over time, your posture worsens, your joints start to stiffen, and the effects compound. Your body becomes less efficient at processing sugar, which leads to higher blood sugar levels, increasing your risk for diabetes. And it's not just your body that suffers. The lack of movement can even impact your mind. Research shows that prolonged sitting is associated with poor mental health, reduced cognitive function, and increased stress. But here's the biggest misconception: many people think that if they exercise regularly, it's okay to sit all day. They think that an hour at the gym, or a few daily workouts, will counterbalance all the sitting. Unfortunately, that's not the case. The problem isn't just that you don't exercise enough, it's the fact that you're sitting too much in the first place. That's what's dangerous. Even if you hit the gym, sitting for hours without getting up is still harmful. The key isn't just about exercise, it's about movement throughout the day. So, what can you do to change this? It's simple. Every 30 minutes, get up and move. Whether it's standing, stretching, or walking around the house, just get your blood flowing. Even light activities like walking to the kitchen or doing some stretches can combat the harmful effects of sitting. You don't have to do a full workout every time, but consistent movement is key. Try setting a timer or an alert on your phone to remind yourself to stand up and move. Over time, this little habit will make a big difference in how you feel, physically and mentally. Movement is crucial for our health, but there's another factor that can have a huge impact on your well-being: how we handle our emotions. Emotional health plays a huge role in our overall physical health, especially as we get older. Let's talk about how neglecting emotional well-being can affect your body and mind in ways you may not realize. Think about your aunt. She's always been the life of the party, full of energy, always ready with a joke or a warm hug. But lately, something's changed. You've noticed that she's been quieter, more withdrawn. She doesn't talk much anymore, and when she does, it's not the same. There's a sadness in her voice that wasn't there before. She seems to be feeling down, but when you try to ask, she brushes it off. "I'm fine," she says, but deep down, you can tell she's not. And you wonder, what's going on? Why can't she just open up? Unfortunately, this is a scenario many families experience as their loved ones get older. Emotional health is often overlooked, especially when the person doesn't seem to be physically ill. But what we sometimes forget is that emotional well-being is just as important as physical health, sometimes even more so. When we neglect our emotions, it can affect our bodies in ways we don't realize. Untreated stress, anxiety, and depression can contribute to serious physical health issues like heart disease, hypertension, and even a weakened immune system. That's right, your mental health can directly impact your physical health, and when it's ignored, the effects can be devastating. As we age, it becomes even more important to pay attention to our emotional health. You see, the mind and body are deeply connected. Chronic stress can elevate cortisol levels in the body, leading to inflammation and weakening the heart. Anxiety and depression are not just emotional struggles, they are physical struggles too. They can cause high blood pressure, disrupt sleep patterns, and weaken the body's ability to heal and recover from illness. But the hardest part is that many people, your loved ones included, don't always recognize that they need help. They might feel embarrassed or ashamed to talk about their feelings, or they might simply think, "It's just a phase, I'll get through it." But in reality, ignoring these emotional struggles can make things much worse over time. One of the biggest mistakes families make is brushing off emotional health issues, thinking they'll get over it. It's easy to assume that with time, the sadness or anxiety will fade away. But mental health doesn't work that way. In fact, when emotions are neglected, they tend to build up and manifest in even more harmful ways, physically, mentally, and emotionally. The longer someone suffers in silence, the harder it becomes to help them. That's why it's so important to recognize when someone is struggling and encourage them to talk about it. Ignoring it is the last thing they need. So what can you do to help? First, encourage your loved ones to open up about their feelings. Let them know it's okay to not be okay. You don't have to have all the answers, but just being there to listen can make a world of difference. Simple activities like mindfulness exercises, yoga, or therapy can also greatly improve emotional health. Regular socializing, spending time with friends and family, even if it's just a short chat over coffee, can reduce feelings of loneliness and isolation. It's also important to encourage them to engage in hobbies they love, or to try something new that brings them joy. Sometimes, the smallest things, like taking a walk together or watching a favorite movie, can help ease emotional burdens. Taking care of emotional health is absolutely essential, but there's one more modern habit that many of us overlook, and it's slowly sneaking into our lives, taking a toll without us even realizing it. Too much screen time. Yes, those devices we all rely on so much can be causing more harm than good. Let's talk about how too much screen time can affect our bodies and minds, and what you can do to counterbalance it. It's tough, isn't it? Watching someone you love slowly fall into habits that you know are shortening their life. You want to help, but it feels like they're slipping away from you, and you can't catch them. Maybe it's your mom, your dad, or a dear friend. You've seen them struggle with their health, and while you want to do something about it, it often feels like the task is too big, too overwhelming. You might be asking yourself, can I really make a difference? But here's the truth, don't be discouraged. You can help. It might feel like an uphill battle, but the small actions you take today can have a huge impact tomorrow. Every small change you make, every bit of care and love you give, has the potential to turn things around. It's easy to get lost in the worry, to feel like the task is too daunting. But you have the power to change things, to guide your loved one toward healthier habits that will help them live a longer, more fulfilling life. It's not about trying to fix everything at once. In fact, doing so may only overwhelm both you and your loved one. Instead, take things one step at a time. Identify the habits that are most harmful, the ones that are quietly affecting their health, and start making small, manageable changes. Maybe it's encouraging them to get up and move a bit more, or suggesting a healthier snack instead of the usual processed food. Perhaps it's something as simple as ensuring they get enough sleep or having a heartfelt conversation about their emotional health. The truth is, no matter how small the change, it counts. It all adds up. Instead of feeling helpless, you now have the knowledge to intervene. You don't have to stand by and watch, it's not about being perfect. It's about making the right changes, even if they're tiny. What matters is consistency. Small, positive actions each day lead to a healthier tomorrow. Just remember, no step is too small. Even if it's encouraging your loved one to take one more walk around the block or reminding them that it's okay to rest, you're helping them in ways that will have a lasting effect. I want you to feel empowered by this knowledge, because with the right awareness, you can make their golden years as peaceful and as joyful as possible. Caring for someone you love, whether it's a parent, spouse, or close friend, can be difficult. It's not always easy, and it can feel draining at times. But don't lose hope. These small lifestyle changes, supported by your love and patience, can help ensure their years are filled with peace, dignity, and happiness. You have the power to make these years meaningful and full of life, not just for them, but for you as well. And that, my friend, is something worth fighting for. So now that you know these powerful habits, it's time to take action. Don't wait. Start today. Whether it's encouraging more movement, better sleep, or healthier emotional habits, the time to act is now. Stay with us as we dive into more actionable tips in the next part of our series. Stay strong, stay informed, and keep making those small changes that lead to big results. Let's quickly review the key points we've covered today. We've talked about 5 habits that could be negatively impacting your loved one's health, and how making simple changes could help them live a longer, more fulfilling life. First, we discussed overworking. The danger of pushing ourselves too hard without taking the time to rest and recharge. Chronic stress is a silent killer, and it can affect everything from your heart to your mind. Next, we tackled eating too much processed food. The snacks, the fast food, the sugary drinks, all of that stuff might be convenient, but it's taking a toll on our bodies. Healthier eating habits can prevent diseases and help maintain energy levels as we age. Then we went into inconsistent sleep patterns. That's something so many of us overlook, but poor sleep can lead to a range of health problems, including cognitive decline and heart issues. Restful, consistent sleep is one of the easiest ways to protect both body and mind. We also discussed sitting too much, which is a growing problem in today's sedentary world. Sitting for hours at a time can lead to obesity, diabetes, and heart disease, but the solution is simple: just move. Get up, stretch, walk, and get your blood circulating. And lastly, we covered neglecting emotional health. The emotional struggles we face are not separate from our physical well-being. Ignoring feelings of stress, anxiety, or depression can worsen physical health, and addressing these emotions can help improve everything from heart health to brain function. These are the habits that, if changed, could drastically improve the quality of life for both you and your loved ones. Remember, it's not about making huge changes overnight, but about taking small steps each day toward healthier living. Make those changes today, for a better tomorrow. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these habits have you noticed in your family, or maybe even in yourself? Have you seen any of these behaviors that are affecting the health of someone you care about? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your personal experiences, and how you're tackling these challenges. Together, we can support each other in making healthier choices and creating a better future for the ones we love. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing to Seniors Care. We've got so much more content coming your way on elderly care, health tips, and how to improve the well-being of your loved ones as they age. Give us a like if you want to continue learning about how to care for your loved ones in their later years, and make sure you don't miss our next video. We're here to help guide you every step of the way. Thank you so much for watching. I hope today's video has helped spark some new ideas about how to take better care of yourself and those you love. Take care, stay strong, and remember that small, consistent changes can lead to a big difference in the long run. I'll see you in the next video, and together, we'll keep working toward a healthier, happier future. Stay informed, and stay compassionate.